This video is just a little interview that I had with John Morgan, who's somebody who introduced themselves at a recent sculpture show that I went to, Sculptor in the Park, and he introduced himself just as somebody that enjoyed my content and that had learned a lot from my sculpting videos. So he said, I'm kind of a student of your work, and he was able to get into a pretty exclusive show, the Sculpture in the Park in Loveland, Colorado. It's the largest juried sculpture show in the U.S., so quite an accomplishment for just having sculpted for a few years. And this was his second year. I had the chance to talk with him a little bit, so here's that video.
Hi, I'm John Morgan. I'm here at the Loveland Sculpture event. So I've been sculpting about 4 years. I, like a lot of people probably, I follow a lot of different artists and I just watch what they do and I copy what they do. And I was at a art festival and talked to a couple of sculptors, and they said this was the show of all shows, and so I applied to it last year and I got in. So this is my most recent piece. It's called Eclipse, and it's funny, I got this done right before the last eclipse, so I don't know what kind of mojo was going on there, but I wanted to do, like, I love doing the figure obviously, but I also like incorporating a story behind my pieces. I love folklore and mythology and that kind of thing, and so I wanted to do a piece that kind of looked into our psyche behind the eclipse. There's different emotions that are evoked, like fear, amazement, just wonder, and so I wanted to capture that in a sculpture and just contrast the moon with the sun, with the earth. Maybe there's a, if we were doing mythology now, there would be a figure responsible for it. And so that's what I did there. With sculpture, I think the difficulty is having a number of pieces so that you can show a theme of work, because that's what they're looking for, is they want to see that, first of all, that you have a good quantity of work and that your quality is good. And so, if you're wanting to get in, you've got to put in the work and you've got to get good at it, but then you have to have certain themes. And I think that's ultimately what got me in. And if you're working in bronze like I am, then you've got to pay for all the bronze. And so maybe you go smaller. But as I talk to artists, I think the biggest thing holding people back is fear of putting yourself out there. And you just have to do it. You have to go through it and look at it as an opportunity to grow and learn. And if you fall on your face and you don't sell anything, that's okay. That's not why you're doing it. It's to get the experience so that you can grow and you can get better. So I think the thing that's helped me as well is when I started doing sculpting, I looked at it as like a research project. And so I would look for opportunities to find sculptors doing their thing. And so I remember talking to an artist named Sky Caroselli at the Utah Arts Festival, and she had an amazing display, and she was so generous with her time. She probably spent an hour just talking me through the business aspect of sculpture. And then I've watched Joseph and through Instagram and picked up tips, and you just have to be a sponge, absorbing everything you can. There's not one right way to do this. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and I think there's a way that feels good to you and fits your particular style, and you have to figure that out, unfortunately, through a lot of trial and error. You can find me on Instagram at jmorgansculpture.
Awesome.